All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you, I heard all the rumors about episode 3 for The Acolyte. You guys already know I'm not watching this show. I don't watch Disney Star Wars nonsense. But I heard of all the rumors and got tagged in plenty of rumors regarding Acolyte episode 3. And I got to tell you, everything that I heard did not prepare me for what actually happened on the screen in the clips that I've seen. This episode for Acolyte clearly shows that Disney's Lucasfilm Star Wars is in an absolute mess. It is such a complete debacle. And honestly, it goes to show the disconnect that's happening between Lucasfilm executives and producers and everybody who's creating this stuff and the actual fans that are out there trying to consume this content. You know, there's people out there that unfortunately for them are such diehard Star Wars fans that they're holding on to any little hope possible that this is somehow going to turn around. But I think this particular episode is not only going to lose those people, but it's also going to wake up a lot of normies to this nonsense that's been happening in Star Wars for years. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. It says Disney Star Wars redefines the Force and introduce lesbian witches that can create life through unnatural means in The Acolyte. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke. And a lot of people thought it was a joke. A lot of people thought that when the leaks came out, this was coming just from right-wing grifters. They were just angry at Star Wars and trying to create bad press for the show. Well, guess what? They were right. Every single one of them were right. All the rumors were correct. And we got exactly what they said and more, which is just mind-blowing, doesn't even cover it. It says Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company redefined the Force and introduced a coven of witches led by two lesbians that were able to create life through a power that they call the thread in the Star Wars The Acolyte series. Ladies and gentlemen, the scissoring memes that have been coming out from this are unbelievably amazing. I'm telling you. And I honestly think that the memes are just going to write themselves at this point because reality, I would say, is funnier than fiction at this point. In the third episode of the series, the show flashes back to when the twins Asha and May are children and living on the planet Brendok. Earlier in the episode, a character named Mother Anicia informs the twins that the Coven believes in something called the Thread. She details all living things are connected by the same thread, a thread woven through all of existence. Some call it a force and claim to use it, but we know the thread is not a power you wield. Pull the thread, change everything. It ties you to your destiny. It binds you to others. This is a direct contrast to how the Force was defined by both Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda in George Lucas's original trilogy. Obi-Wan described it in A New Hope: the Force is what gives a Jedi his power. It's an energy field created by all living things. It surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together. Yoda also described the Force in Empire Strikes Back. Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. You must feel the Force around you, here between you, me, the tree, the rock, everywhere. Yes, even between the land and the ship. You know what's funny? They completely retcon this entire thing regarding the Force, and they are going to try to pretend as if it was always meant to be this way. When they decided to take over Star Wars, and George Lucas unfortunately sold it off to people like Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and whatnot, he might have done it with good intentions. He might have thought that they were going to adopt his storylines after the fact. But at the end of the day, you must have been so naive to think that this multi-billion-dollar corporation was going to utilize this franchise in any true positive way that was going to respect your source material. They have completely gone full MCU level nonsense with Star Wars. They have made it so that Star Wars and the Force is basically female. That's what they've been talking about for the beginning. I mean, if you guys go way back and remember that Kathleen Kennedy was wearing a t-shirt that said the Force is female, This has been their goal since the beginning. They wanted to take a male franchise, a male-dominated franchise, something that a lot of men enjoyed, and they wanted to turn it into a feminazi nightmare. And that's exactly what they did by essentially making the Force a female-oriented thing and having two lesbians, or I should say a cult of lesbians, essentially control the life and birth of people within the Force. It's ridiculous. Nevertheless, after redefining the Force, the show then reveals that what the witches practice is considered dark, as they begin some kind of ritual described as an ascension. Mother Anesia states that tonight we enact a ceremony we have not performed since our exile. We were hunted, persecuted, forced into hiding, all because some would consider our power dark, unnatural. We were on the brink of extinction, and then we were blessed with a miracle, the gift of life. This gift of life is the two twins. Following this speech and the ensuing ritual that is eventually interrupted by 4 Jedi who demand the twins be tested as Jedi, Mother Anesia has a conversation with Coral and a number of the other witches. Anesia suggests that they allow the twins to be tested. However, Coral disagrees. She states, "I did not bring the girls into this world so that they will lose them to a bunch of deranged monks." Anesia retorts, "It's not your decision, it is mine, and I've made it." Coral then responds, "I carried them." Anesia replies, "I created them." Coral then questions, "Then what happens if the Jedi discover how you created them?" The back and forth is then interrupted by Ancient Witch, who suggests the children take the test, but lie so that they will fail. The idea that these witches can create life with the power of thread also appears to undercut the Chosen One prophecy that George Lucas introduced in The Phantom Menace. Now, this one right here, this is the big issue a lot of people have with this new direction that they're choosing to go with Star Wars and the whole Force and thread and all this bullshit. They are completely forgetting the prophecy with Anakin Skywalker and the entire reason of his existence. They are completely forgetting that, or I should say, they're choosing to ignore it. They're not actually forgetting it, because forgetting it means they never knew in the first place. No, they absolutely knew about it, and they're choosing to ignore it. They're choosing to push it to the side and create this new thing where they're trying to make the Force female. But let's continue. It says, when Qui-Gon Jinn arrives on Coruscant with Anakin Skywalker, he informs the Jedi Council, "I have encountered a virgin in the Force, a boy. His cells have the highest concentration of midichlorians I have seen in a life form. It is possible he was conceived by the midichlorians." Mace Windu then shares the prophecy. "You refer to the prophecy of the one who will bring balance to the Force. You believe it's this boy?" Qui-Gon responds, "I don't presume to." However, he's cut off by Yoda, who says, "But you do," revealed your opinion is. This prophecy and the idea that Anakin was conceived by the midichlorians or the Force comes after Qui-Gon learned from Anakin's mother Shmi that Anakin has no father. She told Qui-Gon, "There was no father. I carried him. I gave birth. I raised him. I can't explain what happened." So again, it's a Virgin Mary story, ladies and gentlemen, and it completely removes the entire need for Anakin. And that's what they really want. But the funniest thing about all of this is that they are so quick to try to downplay all the famous males that are in Star Wars, and they're trying to make them essentially not important or non-existent to the storyline anymore. But the moment they have a failing TV show, or the moment they need something to actually draw fans in, what do? They constantly do the member berry stuff. They're like, "Oh, remember this guy? Yeah, we're going to introduce Darth Vader for a couple of episodes so that all the member berries can get people excited to watch the TV show long enough so that we can fool our investors into thinking we have a successful TV show." And then a massive drop-off happens after they disappear. But that's besides the point. They'll keep doing that. They'll be like, "Oh, remember Luke Skywalker? Yeah, we're going to bring him back for a flashback scene for 1 or 2 episodes. You guys are really excited about that, right? While we ingest all this other nonsense that we're trying to push down your throat. But hey, Luke Skywalker's in the show." They'll keep doing that with Star Wars because they know that the shit that they're creating now is not what people want to see. This is not what people want to consume, and the viewership is reflecting that. So Disney Star Wars, as I've said many times, is going the way of the dodo bird, and it's amazing to see a franchise like this fail so miserably. I would be very curious to see what 3 new movies would be like for Star Wars and how successful they would be in the current climate that we are in right now. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.